Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Sapphire Rich News. Give a few seconds for people to pile in here, and then we'll talk about our topic of the day, which is Justin Trudeau has announced he will resign. Now, I have a few video clips of different reactions to it, and then I have a little excerpt of his speech. So let's see what we can talk about.
Petition that I'm sharing with you.
No, not that one. Let's do.
Petition that I'm sharing with you today.
Trudeau.
Trudeau stepped down as Prime Minister. What is your reaction?
Finally, it should have been 2 years ago.
And who do you think should run for Prime Minister?
Anybody, to be honest.
What do you think Canada needs right now?
We need a savior. We need somebody to help us out because we're in a bad position. That's all I can say.
What do you think Canada needs?
I think better immigration policies. The way immigration has been handled by the past government hasn't been ideal.
I just came to Canada, honestly, 3 months now.
Who do you think should be the next Prime Minister?
I think it's time for conservative. Usually, I'm more a liberal, economically and all. But I think it's time for some conservative action in the parliament.
Top 3 reasons Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is resigning. Number 3 are Donald Trump's tariffs. Now, these tariffs are going to put a 25% tax on any goods. Shut up! Any goods that get imported from Canada into the United States. Now, this is causing a huge problem for Canada's economy. Trump has mocked them, saying that they're the great state of Canada, implying that they're so dependent on the United States for their economy, they might as well be another state. Number 2 is political unrest within Trudeau's cabinet. Now, there was a recent resignation from the Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland, and she quoted the reason for her resignation because of Trudeau's political gimmicks. These include giving Canadian citizens a $250 rebate thing, and everybody's like, what are we going to do with $250? Wipe our ass with it? You're not even going to be able to pay with one of Trump's tariffs with that. If you like this list and want more about other nonsense, follow me. Leave me a comment with your thoughts on Justin Trudeau. Now, he technically only resigned as the leader of the Liberal Party today, but he's probably going to resign as Prime Minister sometime in March. Also follow my wife, Samantha, who I've tagged. Number 1, a big reason why he's resigning is he just has really low opinion polls.
Yeah, it's completely crazy. There's more. This is Kevin O'Leary.
Canadians are in the British parliamentary system, so we have a very short fuse here. The Liberals, of which Trudeau was the leader, had a majority mandate a decade ago. They're about to get wiped out, and they're going to have 60 days to find a new leader. And Pierre, who you just detailed there, is going to become the majority leader, most likely, and he'll be dealing with Trump. So his job, number 1, is to get elected. Unfortunately for Trudeau, you have to respect the longevity. He's probably, after Mackenzie King, the longest prime minister in history. But he did it without any executional skills. That's very hard to do, but somehow he did it. But everything he touched over that 10-year period turned to, excuse my French, poo-poo. And the Canadian people finally realized this guy has no idea what he's doing. And unfortunately, his legacy, and these are harsh words, but by the metric of measuring GDP per capita, capital outflow, debt per capita, status of competition in the G20, they have all collapsed. And the one that really wrote him off was the Canadian dollar. Canadians have lost 41% of their net worth during his tenure. And he will go down in history as the idiot king.
That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I did this early because I have an eye appointment at 2 o'clock. So when I would normally be ending my live at 2 o'clock, I have to be at my eye appointment. I have a couple more clips. And then I have a short little bit on sorry, that's the wrong one. That's for tomorrow's live. People are protesting in London over their pro-Islamic government.
Trudeau.
Trudeau stepped down as Prime Minister. What is your reaction?
Finally, it should have been 2 years ago.
And who do you think should run for Prime Minister?
Anybody, to be honest.
What do you think Canada needs right now?
We need a savior. We need somebody to help us out because we're in a bad position. That's all I can say.
What do you think Canada needs?
I think better immigration policies. The way immigration has been handled by the past government hasn't been ideal.
Like, I just came to Canada, honestly, like 3 months now.
Who do you think should be the next Prime Minister?
I think it's time for conservative. Usually, like, I'm more like a liberal, like economically and all. But like, I think it's time for like some conservative action in the parliament.
Decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister.
That was the people outside when he announced that he was going to resign. I would say they're glad that he's going. What do you say? It's, you know, something. There's another clip from today's news conference from Trump, and I couldn't figure out how to download that particular clip because there wasn't a download button. And it's actually not really part of the news conference. That's what made it tricky. But I can read it. I have it here. Okay, so when Trudeau came to visit Donald Trump about a week ago, Trump jokingly called him Governor Trudeau. Then he said, listen, what would happen if we didn't subsidize you? Why are we supporting a country $200 billion plus a year? Our military is at your disposal. They should be a state. Or he said, you should be a state. That's what he told Trudeau when he came down. Then he said, what would happen if we didn't do that? Trudeau told him Canada would dissolve. That set me back. Our neighbor to the north, if we didn't give them their $200 billion subsidy, the country would dissolve. That's a scary thought, isn't it? That your neighbor to the north, if we didn't pay the $200 billion subsidy, that they would dissolve. That means that Trudeau has overspent so much that without our $200 billion subsidy, they would go bankrupt. Anybody have any comment on that? That a country to our north would go bankrupt without our support? That's just crazy to me. That our neighbor to the north, who's our friend and ally, whom we, you know, subsidize a great deal, but without that subsidy, they would cease to exist. There has been calls for us to try and make them a state, which I don't know if I go along with that or not. I would more go along with making Greenland a state because Greenland is of strategic importance to us because we have military bases on Greenland, and Greenland is the the waterway between Greenland and Canada is what the shipping is the shipping route to the Arctic. And they're currently owned by the country of Denmark. And I saw several posts on X where Don Jr. is going to Greenland to talk to the youth because the youth said they love Donald Trump and we would love to be part of the United States. That was coming from the youth. So we'll see what happens with that. So what does everybody want me to cover tomorrow? Hey, also the new graphic on the screen was created by my daughter. And she did another one. Where's it at? She did one for when I do my exit for me to put up on screen. But I have to redo something here. Load it. Background. Add file. And then she did this one for when we're leaving. Wasn't that nice of her to do that? Okay, so that's all I have for y'all today. Take care, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Yeah, she's very good at artist type stuff. And when she seen what I was using, she threw a fit. I said, well, I have to create what I can, using AI. And she said, no, 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 no. So she did the sapphire colored lettering instead of having a blue diamond. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye now.